TietoEvry has an insurance-in-a-box toolkit that helps businesses launch new propositions fast. This toolkit is a digital insurance platform that helps companies around the world to accelerate innovation and shorten the time to market. Today, they will talk about how their platform enabled Baloise to launch new channels and services. A platform that brings together the insurer and the ecosystem. Next on stage, TietoEvry. Hello, good morning everyone. So you've seen my name, bigger than I thought it would be. So I'll skip myself, but I'm happy to introduce the two gentlemen next to me. So this is Steven Seurs, who is the Manager Digital Marketing and Business at Baloise. And we have Samir Datwe, who is the Head of Insurance and Wealth at TietoEvry. So a warm welcome to both of you. We will talk today about both InsurTech and insurance because these companies work together to launch a digital proposition in a very human way. So we have both companies explaining what they do, but definitely they will share how they work together. So maybe, Steven, you could start by sharing with us what your situation was at Baloise and why you decided to work with Tieto as a short intro.
Yes, thank you, Irene. Well, at Baloise, in terms of channels, we always handle a broker-first strategy. And that's because we really believe in the proximity and in the human approach of insurance. But on the other hand, we need to be where our customers go. And today, our customers, a lot of the time, they go online, in the online world. Mm-hmm. So there's this thing about, we have the physical world and you have the digital world. And they need to come together in order to have a great customer journey. So digital, physical, it becomes phygital. It's a difficult word, it's a difficult word. But we really need to go there because otherwise we will not be able to offer our clients the service and the solutions in their preferred channels. Mm. And it can be both.
Okay, and Sam, you offer insurance in a box. Yeah. Can you share a bit more introducing TietoEvry?
Yeah. So we are coming from up north. TietoEvry is based in the Nordics and traded as a public company on Stockholm, Oslo, Boris, as well as Helsinki stock markets. And we have a solution, we have a very broad range of products and services, but we have something called insurance in a box, which is targeted towards the insurance industry. It's a little bit unique because we have built it grassroots level up, and we have tried to do it by keeping our egos a little bit out of the window and believing that there are people out there who are not employed in TietoEvry and are kind of smart. And other companies which are also smaller probably, some of them might be competitors, but we have tried to bring in all these kind of awesome solutions that people build onto a single platform, put it all together so that we have a full stack insurance platform that insurance companies can leverage. So that's what has been something that Baloise has been plugging into and trying to utilize.
Exactly.
Can you share a bit more about what the insurance in the box includes, what it entails? Or?
Yeah, it is a full stack insurance offering where you have everything that insurance company needs, all the way from cores to channels, from all the way from human, vehicle, driver telematics to something all the way to pension and savings, wealth management. So it's quite broad and deep, both.
Yeah. And how did you get to know TietoEvry when it all started?
Well, we were looking for a solution to put products in the market fast and really to test and learn to see if things would stick. That's how we came in contact. We discussed later on the build or buy solutions that it would take.
Okay, great. So if we talk about Baloise, I know you are based in Belgium. I also know, and probably more people know, that Belgium is not maybe the easiest market. I know there's always a very big broker base, and people are very used to going to a broker. They have a lot of relationships. So if you talk about going digital and you see trends of people, you know, using digital channels more and more, how do you cope with that? How do you look at that?
Yeah, you're right. In Belgium, we have a very long tradition of brokers interacting with customers or customers with brokers. But yeah, going digital does not mean that you really need to cut out a broker. Today, we do see that some brokers, not all of them, but some, and especially the smaller ones, don't have the real digital power or knowledge or budgets to be present online and take these top positions in terms of marketing, for example. It's impossible for them to take these top positions and to drive digital business. So we believe we can help them. It's not competing with them, but we try to help them. So we have digital academies where we try and learn them how to be more digital. But on the other hand, yeah, insurance is a human business. And that's still very important because yeah, you can't simply change a human contact by an app. I've seen some demos before here, and there are some interesting use cases, and it's all evolving. But today, I really don't believe that you can really have this human physical interaction interchanged by a chatbot or by an app. So it still needs to be a combination of the two, I think.
Okay.
I think it's also, but a little bit also that it's interesting how it reflects into the Belgian market, because it is very easy to say, okay, why brokers? But hey, this is your sales channel, this is your claims channel, this is your support channel. Either you build a huge organization yourself, or then you use channel partners to do it. It's just different business strategies. And Baloise, or at least in Belgium, Baloise seems to be having that strategy.
Good, and you also work in other countries, so do you have a different perspective if you look at other countries?
Yeah, I mean, different insurance companies seem to go different ways. There is, of course, a lot of startups and even pure digital plays that insurance companies have. But at the same time, if you look at the Nordics, on the private insurance side, there is less broker approach, while if you look more in Central Europe, brokers are an integral part of the entire insurance offering. Then there is, of course, companies like Baloise who are trying to digitize, but at the same time keep the human aspect present to make sure that the customer at the end of the day feels secure. And it's all about security. And if it's an answering machine or it's an app saying, hey, tell me your problem, versus a human person saying, tell me your problem, or how to fix a possibility, it has a different impact.
Yeah,
sure. It sure is. Especially in terms of damage and claims, the human aspect, the empathy factor is still very important, I believe.
Yeah. So how does that work, for example, in the case of Baloise?
Well, the products we offer on eBaloise are exactly the same for the broker as part of an e-commerce system as well. So the channels are both available, and it's the exact same product. But in the end, we still use the broker for the service part. There is some digitization in the platform as well, but once somebody buys a product via the e-commerce channel, the service is still being provided by a broker, and the client needs to choose a broker for his service.
Yeah.
So even though the platform is fully digital, it's still the broker who is actually providing the link between the insurance company and the insurer using the digital platform. So it's straddling both the worlds, I would say.
And that means all brokers are using the same system, the same platform?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. You mentioned the word customer. I'm happy with that a lot, which is great. And also the word customer journey, also in the talks that we had before this. So that's very important, I guess, both in your offering and the way that you have designed the whole proposition. So if you talk about an ideal customer journey, you just gave a brief description already. So how does that look like for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, customer journeys normally imply two parties. Hey, you have the customer, and on the other hand, you have the company. But for us, it's different. There's always this third party involved. You still have the broker there, so it's sort of a triangle. We need to make sure that both are interchangeable. I mean, the customer on the one hand, but the broker in Baloise, the brand needs to be replaceable. We need to make sure that the customer can choose his preferred channel and interact the way he wants to be. And there's just different types of journeys possible. And that makes it very difficult because you can't simply interchange every process. They're not parallel processes. So it's still a struggle in trying to find the best solution there, but it's definitely something with three parties involved, I think.
Okay, clear. And Sam, how's that for you?
I mean, it has been a learning experience for us. We had, before meeting Baloise, we had not imagined that we would also have this kind of a tri-party setup in place, but it worked quite well. Digital when possible and always human. It really struck something, especially back home, where it's so self-service, it's so digital, that this really resonated well. And I think we were surprised at how efficiently it seems to work.
And where do you see like the biggest benefits versus the other, let's say, your normal scenario?
Like I said, it is about having a human connect. For Baloise, I think you have more than 3,000 brokers who you work with. May not all of them may not be using the eBaloise platform, but still they are the ones who are facing the customers on your behalf, and they are the ones who are not only involved in the sales cycle, but also during claims cycle. So empowering a huge community of people who represent you in a digital way, in a completely white label manner, is something that really adds power to the offering from Baloise. No?
It's true. Yeah. Exactly.
And how did the brokers react?
I think we could have done a better job there. In terms of when you start placing an e-commerce product into a broker market, it scares people sometimes. It scares them. They say, hey, are you going as in a direct way? Are you trying to cut us out? But that's definitely not the case. And I think we might have done a better job in communicating and telling the story together with them. But yeah, in the end, it's change. It's change for them. The market is evolving. Maybe it's normal that we had some scared reactions. But now the platform is doing great, so it's normal that
it helps
people,
their business.
Yeah, it helps the business
exactly.
in the end. Yeah,
okay.
It takes some time to realize that, I think.
Yeah, I guess it's a normal reaction, right? I mean,
yeah, it is a normal reaction.
It is a fear that every broker has, I guess, or every indirect distribution channel. So it's quite a logical reaction, I would think.
Yeah.
Sam, I'm just curious because insurance in a box sounds super easy. It sounds like, okay, I'm just buying something, plug and play, and I go. But we all know that it's not the case, right? Because products are different per country, per brand, terms and conditions are different, pricing is different. How does it work in practice? How do you deal with all these differences per country? Because you offer technology.
Yeah. The fun thing about insurance in a box is that it is completely modular and at the same time completely settable or possible to be worked in a self-service mode. So if you want to onboard a new customer or onboard a new country, it's very easy to add a country layer and then configure things that are relevant only for that country and then do it something specifically for the customer in that country. I think we have been quite successful in adding new countries and new customers quite rapidly. I mean, mere weeks for launching new products, mere months for having a completely new insurance company provisioned from scratch. I mean, that's a tall call, eh?
That's quite good, yeah.
But the fun thing is that this is, I mean, I cannot take credit. I mean, TietoEvry cannot take the whole credit. I mean, we are an enabler in this. There are, even in the hall outside, there are several partners who are connected and are empowering the platform. So it is a collective effort. Everybody carries their own weight, and we are all there to ensure that we are successful, but and also make customers like Balwaza successful.
Yeah. And does it mean you have like an ecosystem then of partners? Or?
Exactly. It's an open ecosystem. We have a lot of partners already on the platform, and we have an ecosystem that works end to end. So it's not only saying here is open APIs, connect to them directly. We actually have our own validation process where we validate the company credentials, validate the technology, make sure that the integration happens. Also have the back-to-back contracts in place, so that when we onboard a new customer, the partners that they choose to work with can also sell services through the platform. Those accelerators can be brought into the platform without going through the whole legal and sourcing process all over again. So it has its investment upfront from our side, but on the long run for the customers, it's kind of plug and play.
Okay.
So that helps.
So that sounds great, but you're the client. How did you experience that? Was it indeed plug and play? Was it super easy?
It was easy to install, that's true, but that's because we also chose for a sort of standalone setup. And now we're moving to this next phase. It's becoming successful. And now we do realize that some integrations, of course, it's normal, but we need to take care of them. It's scaling, so it needs some extra connections. For example, we realize now that sometimes we get questions directly from customers about the platform. Of course, that's something we never knew before, because it was always the broker who was interacting with the customer. So a lot of questions come in, and then you have to take care of that. If you don't have a customer service desk, for example, to handle these questions, then it becomes a problem. But it was a step-by-step approach. We started small. We're taking next steps now, and we do realize that we need to continue to invest in to continue to integrate and deploy further and further.
Yeah, and does it mean that you didn't use yet, let's say, all the ecosystem partners that Sam also offers?
No, some of them. We use some of them. I think some. I
think we have 5 odd partners being working on the Balwaza platform, but also depends on which products or which product lines of businesses you're onboarding. Overall, there are over 37 partners now, so you don't need that just now. But eventually, I mean, if you today you are on private line of business, if you go commercial, then you have a different accelerator coming in. If you go to life and pension, then it's a different accelerator. So it depends on what kind of line of business the insurer is.
Yeah.
I don't believe anybody will require all the partners at the same time. It doesn't make sense.
No, but it's just good that it can be offered.
It can be offered, exactly. You have the freedom to choose.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's modular, so you don't have to have things that you don't need. And if you don't need something, you can offload it also.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's sort of a plug-and-play solution for us, and we can use whatever we like to use.
Yeah.
Okay. And when was it launched?
In 2019, 2020.
2020. And what are the results so far? So what is for you, let's say, the biggest result that came out of this?
Yeah, it's this year we are growing 200% in sales via the platform versus last year. And next month we will have the same number of total sales as last year. So that's a very nice result. We have a 30-70 online broker sales. So 70% of the sales is done via the broker, 30% is done via the e-commerce or the online channels. But this is without any significant marketing push. So, okay, we do some basic keywords buying. Of course, for the types in bike insurance, they will find us. But there's no big marketing campaign behind. So we expect once we start pushing marketing online, the ratios will probably shift. I expect maybe to go to a 50-50%. So it's going well.
Yeah, sounds like impressive numbers in short. For you, Sam, what was for you the biggest result if you look at this case?
It's also the first time we did this broker gig. I mean, we had not done this before and we had no experience with this, so it was a little bit new. At the same time, to facilitate something like that a little bit away from our home markets remotely was also something new because we had originally thought of addressing the Nordic market, but then we realized that the traction that we have found in the Central European market, Benelux, Germany, Austria, is much more than the Nordic market simply because of the size of the market as well as the competition. So it was also to try and get into a high traction market and see how the systems perform, especially when it is being done a little bit further from where we have immediate ability to work. The fun thing is we have been able to do this without actually doing any work locally. We have been able to do this completely remote. I mean, I didn't even think about it before, but I mean, that's quite nice that we have been able to work from different parts of the world to facilitate the platform, and it works.
Sounds amazing. Sounds very good.
Yeah.
Great. And if you look at, so we have this case for you in Belgium. We have all your experience in a lot of countries. We talk about the broker still being important in the whole journey. We talk about customers going digital. If you think 5 or 10 years forward, how do you think we will buy insurance by then, or what kind of insurance we'll build? Do you have a certain vision on the insurance of the future?
Yeah, customer needs are changing very, very fast, rapidly, massive. Generation Z is just about to enter the market, or they're just entering the market. They're buying their first houses, they're buying their first cars, they're looking for insurances. And this is the first digital native generation. And they have totally different expectations of anything that has happened before. So it's very interesting to keep an eye on the market. And today we don't really know what that's going to be and how that's going to evolve. But knowing that the digital generation is there in the market means that digitization is inevitable. We need to go there anyway. We need to make sure that we can deliver value in digital, but also in the more human-oriented customers. Because, in fact, there are two types of customers, I think. Yeah, you have the active customers who are actively looking for products, services, comparing prices. They're doing that online. They're in that ecosystem. On the other hand, you have the more passive customers. And it's not a negative word. It's just they trust the broker. They say, hey, I don't want to spend time on this. I have an expert close to me, and I trust him with my insurance business. And both need a totally different approach. And it's going to be the case. It's going to be very important to serve both.
Yeah. And how will you deal with that as Baloise? I mean, you now have an experience with TietoEvry, but if you look at all those developments, how do you organize your organization to meet those new demands?
Yeah, as Baloise, and I think that counts for every insurance company, we have a lot of legacy systems still being there. I would be lying if I would say it was different at Baloise. So a lot of our effort go in there. A lot of our development goes in there. And with Tieto, it's very easy to work with because it's a complete remote partner. We don't have to spend too much IT resources in there. It's done for us. Yeah, and it opens, of course, a discussion of building or buying a platform. But in this case, yeah, we're buying it and we're not building it ourselves.
Or renting it, huh?
Or renting it.
You don't even have to buy it.
yeah, it's rented. It's renting. Exactly.
Yeah.
Great. And Sam, if I go back to the previous question about the future of insurance, what is your perspective on that?
I mean, if I look at the very broad picture, then I think three things: embedded. More and more offerings will be so integrated into the production services that need to be secured that it will become more and more invisible. I think it will be a lot about APIs and how you can simply consume offerings into different kinds of channels. And third is parametric, how you can make it really configurable or choosable at the last level of detail, and how you can add data sources to influence the pricing, the settlements, both. So, I mean, there could be a lot of other things, but I think, will focus on these three main areas in the immediate future.
Okay. That sounds good, but that sounds like a lot more challenges, right? With a lot of different kind of partners you will work with.
Exactly.
So now imagine I am an insurance company and I also would like to offer this. What do I need? What do I need in terms of money, in time, in resources? Imagine I want to work with you.
I want all your money, of course.
Obviously.
No, but like I said, we have had different experiences in different markets. The fastest implementations that we have done for a full stack insurance company, standalone, is less than 2 months. The maximum we have taken is probably 5 or 6 months to do that. The products that we launch are in a few weeks to maximum a quarter, where everything is end-to-end integrated all the way to channels. From cost perspective, of course, it depends a little bit on whether you have third-party integrations in place or what kind of. So it's too broad a question, but I think our entry levels are as low as 100 kilo euros. I mean, it can be very small starting point.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. So I think this is, let's say, the story of two companies coming together. I think a great example of how InsurTech and insurers can join forces. Also a great example of how digital and still the human touch can come together. If you would like to learn more about TietoEvry, I know Sam has a booth, but I know he's also leaving in about an hour or so.
Yeah.
So if you would like to hear more, make sure you grab him very quickly.
Yeah.
And I think, Steven, you're around for today and tomorrow, right? So
only today, not
only
tomorrow,
today.
but my colleagues will be here and tomorrow as well.
Good. So thank you very much, and
Thanks
I
a lot.
hope a great inspiration for all of you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.